I know you guys have been watching me use this with my clients. These are by far the absolute best resistance band loops. The best part, I don't know if you can see it on camera, is how thick they are, how spongy they are, how comfortable they feel. And the fact that they're made out of a material that's non-stick means if I want to place these somewhere above or below my ankles or my knees, they're not going to slide around on me. So I use this in my physical therapy clinic. If you don't know me, my name's Tony Maritato. I'm a licensed physical therapist. I use these in my physical therapy clinic for everything between hip pain, back pain, knee pain, post-surgical cases, neurologic cases. Anyone and everyone who is standing and walking needs to build strength through the hips. We always see the individual who has that big side-to-side, they call it a Trendelenburg gait pattern. The fact is, my hips are what controlled the pelvis. If I have back pain, a lot of times, and I have a lot of side-to-side movement, you can imagine those arthritic joints that are moving side to side way more than they need to be. If I build a strength and stability in my hips to stabilize the platform that makes my pelvis, my low back is stronger. I don't have the wear and tear. I don't have to deal with all the other stuff. So typical exercises, I'll show you my three favorite. We've got a little softness in the knee, stable in the pelvis. We're just doing a side step. You could do this moving, or you could just do it in place. I can hit 10 repetitions just staying where I am. Then typically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reposition it over the laces, under the shoe, and we'll do a hip flexion. So a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, I've got such tight hip flexors. Part of that could be happening because you just feel like you're tight, but you're not really tight. Part of it could be because the hip flexors aren't strong enough to stabilize and control what they need to control. Part of it is we don't do a lot of resisted high marching. Now I heard somebody call this a reverse squat or a reverse lunge the other day. But getting that hip drive, what also happens is the way the human body works, when my brain tells my bicep to tighten, reflexively it tells my tricep to relax. If I feel tightness, maybe gluteus medius, gluteus maximus, anywhere piriformis, if I feel tightness on the posterior aspect, I can contract the anterior aspect and it will reflexively inhibit the posterior aspect. So we've got a side step, we've got a high knee or a hip hike, and then we have an extension, a kickback. And when I do the kickbacks, I'm working hamstring, I'm working glute. I tend to point my toe and kick it back so that I'm controlled. All of these though are also working the other side. So even though you see the right side kicking, lifting, raising, my left hip is doing the exact opposite of all of that. The Pure Band resistance band loops, we use them in the clinic every day. Patients are buying these every day. We love these. I honestly don't have a lot of resistance bands that I love, that I promote, that I talk about. This is one of those resistance bands that nobody else seems to have. I love what Pure Band did with the design and the use. If you want something for home, this is one of my favorite things. I'll see you guys on the next video.